McCurtain County sports leader, Fast Country 106.
And good morning and welcome everyone to the Broken Coaches Show as we are here again live at Top of the Blanos. I'm Jeremy Poole, and with me this morning, the champ, Coach Maverick Lane. Good morning. Man, what the saying goes, a great day to be a Savage. Oh yeah. Man, for the first time since 2010, the Broken Savages are the Class 4A4 district champions, Coach Lane. What do you think?
Yep. Really proud of our kids and our coaches. We knew the Gordon Summit coming into the game, and there was another uncontrollable factor, obviously, the 8 Dinosaur game. But our kids and coaches, we were just worried about, concerned about what we could control. And then we also told our kids what was big about this district championship, because last one was 2010. This one, getting one up on the board that shows 2025, it makes it really relatable to the middle school kids, the kids coming up in the program, because they're around these kids that are on our high school team. They know them firsthand. So that was huge, kind of breaking the barrier and getting one that's really relatable to the kids coming up in our program, middle school. And then the class of kids obviously on the team. We're really proud of our kids. It was huge for the football program last night. Beating a really good polo team. It was still another a fifth game this year of the top 10 team against 4 or 5A. And then you prefer not to come down to it, then we're watching 5.5 minutes of the game on our sideline box on the sidelines. You don't see much. And we were huge Ada Cougar fans there for 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, you bet. It was a night to be remembered. I was really tickled to see our crowd travel like they did, and to some people, you say, well, it's only 2 hours, but it's not an easy trip over the mountain. And I was so glad to see our fans there, and I know you and yourself and the coaches and kids were too, because that's the way it used to be. But man, what a great victory for the program, and again for the second time in the last 3 weeks, the Savages were faced with a huge game.
Yeah, and that's a good, obviously, going into the playoffs. Our kids have played in numerous huge games. I think performed really well, so it's good preparation for us, like you said. And that stuff doesn't go unnoticed by our coaches and kids. We really impressed and proud of our fan base that traveled to Photo last.
Yeah, that's just such a good thing to see. I thought early on, at least in the first half, Graydon Howe's always going to get the highlights, as he should. But last night, I thought in the first half at least was probably maybe the best I've ever seen Graydon Howe throw the football.
Yeah,
he was on the money.
Yeah, he threw the ball well. Dejon had a really good night receiving for us. AJ missing good catches for us. Offensive line did a really good job because they pulled really good their box players. And they like send a lot of pressure. After halftime, they went to a full front, kind of mixed it up, and then went back. But offensive line did a really good job picking up all the pressure that they were throwing at us. Greg did a good job distributing the football, and our kids made good plays on the perimeter with it.
Yeah, it's something I know that our fans really pay attention to, so I'm going to go ahead and mention it here. The old saying goes that when you go to Poto before the game, this is well before you got here, but the old saying goes that when you go to Poto, you're either down 7 or 14 before you get off the bus. The one good thing about last night, and I said it on air, the head referee, the white hat, I recognized him as a top-notch basketball official, and I know that he does a lot of football. When I saw him, I knew and I just felt that nothing really wacky was going to happen because that guy, he was going to take control of the situation. How did you get along with him through the night?
Yeah, I actually found out way back when JV played Tallahassee that there's Mark Carpenter's white hat that was going to do our game. He does a great job. He did our Otterboro game last year. He did our Salazar game last year. And then he did a great job last night. So yeah, I was really, really pleased. Whatever I heard he was going to get it done, because he it's still a big career. You don't know they're there. They look at his play. If there's any issues, they come talk to coaches to get it handled. So yeah, that was really good having him there.
Yeah, it absolutely was. The early on, I thought there was some really, questionable spots of the football, and then when Poto got on offense, it was the same thing. So I don't know if it was Mr. Evans and I, if it was just our point of view, but there was just seemed to be some really, really odd spots. But again, Sapp just took care of business. This team, to me, has kind of, as the weeks have progressed, they have seemed to just build a shield around. They're able to absorb things and come back for them. Is that something that you have you noticed that from, let's just say, from week 2 or 3 to week 10?
Yeah, and we and our kids here, we put it if something doesn't go away, respond. And because when we scored, and then they first play, they get it back and they play action and leave the tail back out, and he takes it 50 or 60, whatever. We played it for a touchdown at it, and it's always comforting when you can look in our kids' eyes and they don't blink, they don't flinch. You'll hear it from almost all coaches. Tell them, and the kids will say, respond, and we put together a drive and responded and scored. So it's something that you gain through playing adversity, through playing the game we've had to play, and being in bad situations. But yeah, last night when they did that, right after we scored, they scored the first play. Kids did that 9. You've heard multiple people say respond. Then we went out responding. And 2 big ones, and probably the 2 huge parts in that game last night. They're in the empty. They run a screen and go with 33 on their sideline. Big play, and BB chases the kid down, tackles him on by like the 5. That was huge by BB. So our defense makes it great. Stand there, they go forward out, we get the ball, and they score. And then the other one, when kid gets open and Cole ends up dragging him down about the 85 down there again. And then Sky, that drive, defense does a great job. Sky ends up getting an interception there and gets us the ball back. So that was 2 huge parts in the game from our kids not giving up on play, and then our defense keeping them out of the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. Last night, in the best of my recollection, Toto's offense consisted of 3 plays. One of them you just talked about, we were able to turn that drive and keep them out of the end zone. But other than 3 big plays, I'm just going to take a wild guess and say Poto probably didn't have 100 yards of offense outside of those 3 plays. Now you'll see more of that when you get the stats and dissect the game. But I'm telling you, our defense done a phenomenal job outside of those 3 plays. Now, what we've got to do from now on is we've got to somehow we're going to have to, because the competition is going to get tougher. What do you do as a staff to eliminate those 3 plays or those 2 plays? There's always a couple that get us. But
yeah, and that's what going in, we know what wins a huge thing for them. They're a big play team, and they run secure plays, which we know he's going to see, which we didn't see at fake punt, which they've done. I've run it 2 times every day. So we know he's going to get something funky out of them, like that formation line of them, those boys back. Kid shifts back there. They did some wildcat stuff. Did some halfway swinging gate stuff on it. And they do all that stuff so you lose who's eligible. And that got us one time. The kid just snuck by. So yeah, the play was back out and misread something else in the perimeter that got him down to BB getting. And then the one they scored, the 3rd play, so there's that notion where that kid just came back to back. And then they're doing all that to get your eyes off 33. He leaked out underneath or right behind the line, right across the line of scrimmage. But it's one of those, our kids played well, eye discipline, but all it takes we can get a team like that. Just one time get your eyes off where you need to be. can hurt you.
Right. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about this morning on our offense, we had a couple touchdowns called back. One of those, and I don't want you to, I don't want you to mention any name or number because it doesn't matter. But the play where DeJean was wide open, that's probably one of the very few times this year that I could tell you the glue almost come off the bottom of your shoes. I'm not asking because it's not about that, but just what was that an alignment issue? Did we get called for illegal procedure?
No, yeah, DeJean. We connected on that. That was a wheel route. Right before half, we overshot the wheel route. It was a different play, but it was something to get DeJean on the wheel. We recovered. So there we recovered off their tight end. So DeJean come off. He's off the ball. Bring him in motion. So we didn't have enough slot receivers on the ball.
Okay, that's all. That's all I want to know. It doesn't matter. I don't want to.
Supposed to have another one on it.
Okay, well that's fine. I don't want to know because it doesn't matter. I just knew that was something that really, probably one of the top 2 or 3 times this whole year that your emotions were kind of. That's all I wanted to ask. I did not. We thought Mr. Evans and I thought that it was an alignment issue. We wasn't sure, but things like that matter. I saw a couple times last night where our own receivers were fussing with each other about who needed to be where, and if sometimes you look at that and you think, that's a problem. Well, no, it's not a problem because those 2 guys are going to handle it within themselves and make sure that, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm where you're at. You make sure you're where that's football. And so as long as that doesn't become an issue, that's just great communication. And I see that with our kids. I see our kids every now and then they'll fuss with each other, but then right after that there's going to be some pats on the back.
Yeah, our kids do that because they hold each other to the standard. And then because our coaches do a great job holding kids to standards, and it's good when and they're just getting lined up, making sure everybody's where they need to.
Yeah. Another thing from the last 4 or 5 weeks for sure, it's been a steady, in my mind, it's been a steady climb from weeks 1 and 2. But Coach Hammer started it last year. But man, tell us about the resurgence or whatever you want to call it from our offensive line, and it's Jeremy Bean is a huge part of it, but I'm going to also say he gets some help from the new guy, Coach Wood.
Yeah, Coach Bean does a great job. Kids that respond well to him, delivering a high standard, make sure they're doing their job done. That's one of the best part of the line coach really progressed, but the offensive line goes from 0 weeks of Calcer to all the way to now. It's one a huge growth, and that's what I brag on them the most of any position group, because obviously they're not getting that. But everything we do offensively runs to them. Everything we do offensively because of those cats up front, and a bunch of selfless kids, undersized. I can show my he weighs. For some reason, he comes in weighs in the office every day. He's 108 pounds. We have and obviously we got some that are good size, but I'd take those 5 over any other 5. We stick on the field with.
You bet. It's just been, it's so obvious, and Snooty Neal just continues to get better and better, but and I'm sure he will tell you he doesn't get better and better without those 5. But his cutting ability is unique when the way he can put his foot on the ground, and after that, the next 2 or 3 yards after that foot plants is very, very fast. But he does none of that unless the big dirt eaters are chewing the dirt in front of him.
Yeah, and we've gotten better blocking for him on the perimeter. Him and Gray, whoever's on the ball. receivers. That's the difference. The perimeter, your receiver blocking is the difference between a 10-15 yard game and a 6-7 yard game. And they really bought into that over receivers. You got the like Bush Jackson runs a lot better with their blocking downfield. And that always helps when it goes with an offensive line that's playing field goal right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, what a great night to be a Broken Bow Savage, and it definitely didn't come easy. This thing has been in only, and I want to mention you have done what hasn't been done since 2010 in only your second year. Did that make the little cold ice bath a little bit easier at the end?
I dodged. I dodged first.
Yeah, I think.
What helped me though, they drank most of the water. So
yeah, I could see that. The second one I could see was pretty much ice, but still, it was a great thing to see. It's something that we haven't got to see in quite a while. It's something that we used to see very often. So, it's nice to be back on top. I think I saw this morning on Facebook or maybe late last night where Coach Pano put on there, he said, it's official, 4A4 runs through Broken Bow. And that's, you hit the nail right on top of the head.
Yeah.
Did you, is that part of the reason why you wanted to come back here?
Oh yeah, the tradition here. What this football program means in the community, and how the community rallies around sports and loves football, and the magnitude of this football team to the community is a huge reason I want to.
You bet. I've always said, and everybody that knows anything about sports have always said that the really good football coaches, they want to go where there's pressure to win. They don't want to go where, all you got to do is win 4 or 5 a year, and they'll give you membership at the country club and let you drive a little. The good coaches want to come where it's tough, and Broken Bow is a lot like being an OU fan. OU fans are rough. They're rough on their team because they've witnessed so much excellence. Broken Bow is not as bad as that, but it's very similar. But the good ones want to be where winning is expected, and like you said, all those coming up are witnessing that right now. Players like Quinlan Bailey, who I saw last night, was so close, but he and some of those others laid the groundwork for this.
Seniors, they laid the foundation of it. They're not going to it was at the end of the year last year. So seniors, they're obviously not going to reap the benefits, but you come back and watch the success program football has going forward. You should be proud because you played a big part in getting us in the right direction.
You bet. The emergence of several players like Jackson Porter and Kilgin and Bentley Brown and Downtown Jimmy and a lot of emergence of seniors. Getting Sky Baker back has been really good. But one thing I wanted to mention this morning, one player that has just come to my mind that's just gotten better and better and better and better is number 13, Brian Clay. What do you think about him, Coach? In my mind, he has improved a ton, and that's not to say he was at the bottom rung of the ladder to begin with. He was good to begin with, but he's kind of exploded.
Yeah, and obviously early in the year, getting kind of that 4 seasons, that's a big learning curve, especially once you get thrown in a fall camp. That's a really big thing to throw at you. But yeah, he started the last 2 games for us. So he's playing really well. We rotate there at that same position out there linebacker. Him, Swayze, and AJ really do a good job, but he's kind of become the front runner here lately of the same position, and that's good too because Swayze and AJ, they play offense. That outplays just a defensive kid.
Right.
That kind of frees him up a little bit to get the rest of the time. But yeah, he makes some big plays, and I'm still, unless I got biased eyes, I'm pretty sure he grabbed that big jersey and not a face mask.
Yeah.
But he got back there, then he got sacked on the second play of the game. So he made some really good plays for us. Really good plays at critical times for us. So yeah, he's been playing really well.
Yeah, he has really stood out, and when you, just for the folks listening, when you refer to Swayze, that is Braden Williams. That's fine. That's fine. No, I know, because I had to ask you when you first said that. Swayze. You're talking, anyway, Swayze is Braden Williams. Braden Williams has been another player that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he's been a solid ball player for 2 years now. And that's another one that we'll have coming back. There's so many players that has played a role, but I just wanted to mention Clay because last night he did come on a blitz, and I'm telling you, it was like he was strapped to the back of a rocket, and then he gets penalized because of the face mask. And I like I said, I couldn't tell myself, but anyway, he did everything right except everything. Of course, the quarterback, right before he goes to pop him, he ducks, and that's what caused. But anyway, he's just, man, he's made huge improvements. But well, let's take just a short break, Coach Lang, and then when we get back, we'll wrap things up pretty quickly. But we will also we will let you in, if you haven't heard already, about how last night played out with those district games, and we'll also talk about our first round opponent, because I know you know who that is already, and we'll talk about how that come to play. But we'll do that quickly to wrap things up. But let's take just a short break for station identification. You've been listening to the Broken Coaches Show on Best Country 106.
McCurtain County sports leader, Best Country 106.
And welcome back to the Broken Coaches Show here live at Papa Polano's. And I'm here with Coach Maverick Lang as he secured Brokenmo's first district title since 2010 in only his second year at the helm of the team. And big accomplishment for the young Savages and the last few years, the ones that really built it, and now the ones that have taken it and brought it back to where it belongs. But Coach, let's talk about last night first, how that scenario played out. 2 weeks ago, we're sitting here with 4 teams with 1 loss. That's odd, but that was the scenario 2 weeks ago, and now this week you take it from there.
Yeah. Going into the main or the 3 scenarios for this championship in our district, which is the toughest in the state. I put it up any classification. It's for our scenarios was we win to win it. We win. They'd have to win it. If Southall's wins, if we got beat and they won, Southall won it. Or if Southall won and we won.
Exactly.
Southall had the best half.
Exactly. Yes.
Then Ada had to be, if we got beat and Ada won, then Ada won it.
That's right.
But yeah, Southall going in, they had the best, most likely odds, best avenue to win the district championship. And then Hildale went 4th. We actually was able to back at you with Polo. We knocked them out last night because Hildale beat McLean and we beat Polo. So that's rough. They're 7-3.
That's exactly. That's the thing I was going to mention. If you did, then you did. But Poto was one of those teams that was in that 4-way tie 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now they're out. Yeah. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what happens when you have 5 out of your 8 teams that are, I mean, the 4 are clearly on top, but Hildale's not too far behind. But that's what happens in that scenario. Last night we could have finished first, second, or third?
Yeah. Win obviously guarantees 1 and 2, and there were some other mathematical ones to get you a third. But and we was only concerned about our game, but and I felt pretty confident in Ada, because I guess they're new kids. South really good, but we was walking in at halftime, and I hear it's 17 left at halftime, and then towards the end of the halftime, one of the coaches said it's 20-0 South. And
exactly.
I just not to lose total faith in the Cougars, but I was already we're on second.
That's what I thought.
And then probably less than 2 minutes, or there's about a minute left in our game. We're just running the clock out. I really hooked that mistake. They just scored, and then went for 2 and got it. So we back. So yeah, for a little bit, I went typical weather fan on the Cougars. I bailed on them, and then I rallied back in a hurry for them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. The way I felt through the week, way more 9 out of 10 people that I had talked to, that they just felt like Ada was gonna take care of Sallisaw. I didn't feel that way. I don't know what made me feel that way. I actually thought that. And I guess maybe I felt that way because the game was in Sallisaw. And being in Sallisaw is a lot like being in Poto. And I just felt uneasy the whole week. But I'm glad I was wrong this week, and you all were right, because I didn't feel like Ada could go in there and beat Sallisaw, but they did. And, of course, what that does is Savage are district champion and have the potential of having 2 home playoff games. First one for sure, and if you win, you get the second one. But tell us who that we are going to face. Yeah,
we with the North District 4 seed is Wagner. So Wagner come down here Friday night. It's going to be a good game. They obviously the tradition they got their seniors. Their seniors have 2 state championships, so they're obviously really aware of the playoffs. And all their kids know the success in winning. So obviously that's a big thing with them. They're going to expect to win. They're used to playing in playoffs. They've been in playoff games, and they got some really good athletes. So yeah, it's 2 tradition-based football programs. We're excited for it.
Well, Coach Condick was at the top at Wagner for many years. And he leaves and goes to Muskogee. I'm not sure who they hired, but it is so weird to know that the 4th seed is the Wagner Bulldogs. It's just that, yes, they're down, but like you said, that W on the side of their helmet, there's a lot of tradition behind that. But I do honestly, and I don't think our kids give 2 hoots that it's Wagner. I really don't. It's just because kids nowadays, I don't think our kids are going to care if it's Wagner or. Well, it's going to be, like I say, another big night in Broken Bowl, but one that we were accustomed to, and now hopefully we're going to get back accustomed to, and that's hosting home playoff games. So hope everybody comes out. Again, I want to say so proud of our crowd last night. Man, that was so good. And I know those kids and all the coaches appreciate that, to look up there and see all those fans in the stand. That's a big deal. So let's come on out Friday night and let's pack it. Let's pack Broken Bowl Stadium. Let's take it. Let's take that old grassroots out. Let's play 2 more on it. And then let's usher a new turf era in. But everybody be there if you can. If you can't, Coach, has the starting time been determined, or is it to be determined?
It's going to be late.
It will be at 7. Okay, all right. 'Cause I wasn't sure. I didn't know if that's going to come. So starting time 7:00 Friday night at the Rock, playing Wagner. Come on out if you can. If you can't, listen to us here on Best Country 106. So For Maverick Lang, I'm Jeremy Poole, and we're going to sign out on the Broken Bow Coaches Show on Best Country 106.
Papa Poblanos, proud sponsor of Broken Bow Savage Football and host of The Savage Show. Hear the latest in Savage football action live Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on Best Country 106. Papa Poblanos satisfies your cravings for sizzling fajitas, mouth-watering tacos, savory burritos, and more. Treat yourself to the flavors of Tex-Mex. 304 North Park Drive in Broken Bow, or call 584-9494 to pick up your order or utilize their catering services. Papa Poblanos, a delightful dining experience.